Our vibes are based on positivity. We as a whole have the trouble longevity. Keep it going, young ladies and gentlemen. Yo, cause we can do it, Yes, we can. Make it change your life to make it better. It takes a real man to be a real go-getter. So lean on us, cause we have the information. Turn your dial to the youth line station. It's the youth line, 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 it's the youth line.
Greetings, welcome to the Youth Line. I'm Dion Ashman. That's right, it's another edition in this segment. Right here we have some very interesting guests. They are all participants in the Panasonic Kid Witness News, a hands-on video education program. First of all, let's start with Tiffany. Tiffany, how are you?
I'm fine.
And Eddie?
I'm fine.
And we also have Josephine.
I'm fine.
All right. We're going to start off first by speaking to the coordinators here so we can get some history, and then we're going to jump to the youth and talk to them about their participation in the program. Let's start off with Melanie Mitchum, who is the communications manager from Jewell Jackson McCabe and Associates.
Hi, Dion.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Okay, move a little closer to the mic. Tell us a little bit about the history on this program and how it all got started.
There was a very innovative teacher in Weehawken, New Jersey by the name of John Hammer, who really wanted to reach his kids in a new and different way. All kids learn in different manners, and he came up with a video education program and the idea for it, and one of the guys on his school board was an employee of Panasonic's. And they got together and collaborated, and it started in Weehawken, New Jersey, and it was so successful there, they wanted to grow it, and the Panasonic employee, Justin Camerlengo, brought it to Panasonic, and then now it's grown. It was 17 schools, then 50 schools, and 100 schools, and now it's 200 schools throughout the country.
Wow. Wow. Okay, now we also have here Kiani Britton. She's a project coordinator. Kiani, please address my listening audience about your involvement with this project.
Hello. What I do is I handle a lot of the equipment problems with Panasonic Kid Witness News. I handle all of the submission guidelines, and I work with Melanie on a lot of the publicity that we do with Panasonic Kid Witness News throughout the country. Okay,
now we have a gentleman here by the name of Jeff Goldstein. I guess he is the person who administers all of this great knowledge to the kids. He's a teacher from PS41. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you, and we're very happy to be here, very excited. We're just starting now with the program for September, and a lot of the children are writing resumes. They all have to apply for a job on the team, and they're going through the procedure of the proper format for a resume, and I usually get probably about 200 resumes, and from 200 resumes I select 20 to 25 students.
Very competitive.
Very.
Yes, a comment you want to make?
I just wanted to say that Jeff's team last year has an award-winning public service announcement against violence that the kids totally wrote themselves, produced, directed.
Okay.
And they use the melody of
Old MacDonald.
To get their point across.
Okay. Josephine, how has being a part of this program helped you as an individual?
Well, Kid Witness Panasonic Kid Witness News, it's helped me. I used to be shy, but I've overcome my shyness now, and I've learned a lot of things about broadcasting news and camera work that I never knew before. I mean, it's a hands-on program, and you learn as you go. It's really exciting.
Tiffany?
Well, with Panasonic Kid Witness News, I've did a lot of things. I was at the Democratic Convention. We went to the UCP Center, and I did a thing with Joe Siegel, which was really terrific. And it's just fun, and you learn how to work with the cameras, how to do an interview, and it's something that'll help you in your career.
Eddie?
I overcome my shyness, interviewing people, listening to people, talking about them, expressing my feelings, and going places where I've never been before.
When you first saw yourself on camera, what was your response? Now, I see a little chuckle here from Josephine, and also Tiffany. What was your first response when you first saw yourself on camera?
Well, I never really saw myself on camera too much before I was in Panasonic KWN News. But after I saw myself on camera a couple of times, I got used to seeing myself. It was fun.
Well, before, I didn't like seeing myself on cameras because it's just funny looking at yourself on TV. And now I've got used to it, and I recognize my mistakes, and it's okay. It's okay now.
Eddie?
I saw myself as another person.
Totally different person, huh? That's interesting. What's the biggest obstacle that you have to overcome in dealing with this program and dealing with the kids?
The biggest obstacle is selecting only 20 or 25 students to be in it. Many deserve, many would really love to be in it, and many would benefit from it. It's a shame that there aren't more programs like this, and we really have to somewhat take our hats off that Panasonic would really do this for free. There is no cost to the school. In fact, the school is provided with $10,000 worth of video equipment, as opposed to other programs where we have IBM computers or Apple computers. We get a discount on that, but nothing for free. And there's a tremendous amount of latitude in the program in terms of creativity and in terms of how the instructor or the principal of the school wants to implement the program. I personally run it with top students in the school because they're with me so much and going out at so many places that they must make up all the classwork that they miss. And I mean, it's wonderful, but academics count too. But other schools that I've heard of have run it with troubled students. They've run it with discipline problems, attendance problems, and many times it's really helped to turn people around.
Okay. All right, we're going to go to a quick Metro traffic report with Caroline Cadillo right now at 23 minutes past the hour of 5 in the p.m. And then we're going to come back and we're going to talk a little bit more about this PSA that these kids produced. We'll be right back with more Youth Line right here on 1190 WLIB, Black Talk and Caribbean Music. Yes, welcome back to the Youth Line, this segment of Mark Time. It's 26 minutes past the hour of 5 in the p.m. Dion Ashman sitting here with some very distinguished guests. For those of you who may have just joined us, we have Miss Melanie Mitchum, the communications manager from Jewell Jackson McCabe and Associates, Kiani Britton, the project coordinator, and some participants of the Panasonic Kids Witness News. We have Josephine Evans, Tiffany Wallace, and Eddie Villanueva. And we also have their teacher, Mr. Jeff Goldstein. When we went to break with Caroline Cadillo, we said that we're going to come back and talk a little bit about a PSA that you all won an award for. Would you care to talk a little bit more about that for me?
We did a video of Guns Trigger Short Life. It was about people getting shot, people dying, people on the floor or showing that they were with blood.
And when you were putting that whole PSA together, what was really going through your mind as you were preparing this?
That the world was going through a whole lot of trouble with guns, drugs.
So you just decided to pretty much write or deal with what you actually see yourself, reading the newspaper, watching TV, sometimes in the neighborhood?
Yes.
Okay. Now, Jeff, you mentioned, this is Jeff Goldstein, the teacher I'm speaking to, listening audience. You mentioned before that the hardest part here to deal with for you is the selection process. Do you find that there may be some other ways to maybe not make the selection process so difficult, and therefore you could include more kids, possibly?
Well, that's a difficult question. I think that the selection process, well, one thing, if they have to write a resume, it's a lot of deep introspection to themselves. They have to have confidence in themselves. They have to do a lot of writing. Some of them get somebody to type it, or they type it up themselves. It's a real effort project, and I really get some wonderful, wonderful resumes. In fact, Josephine's here is absolutely terrific from last year. They haven't written one yet for this year. And in fact, it was so nice that I read it to my mother, who lives in San Francisco, who employs people, and she said she doesn't even get adults who write resumes.
Really?
And she can really convey her best points through her resumes. It would be nice if I had 500 T-shirts and had one tremendous amount of time. Right now, the principal of the school, Mr. Gary Wexler, he's terrific with the program. He's very flexible in terms of time. He's very flexible in terms of excusing the children from classwork to go on a trip, to go someplace, because he sees that maybe this is not an academic program, but these are the kind of things that children will remember their whole lives. Mm-hmm. They'll look back, whether they go to the UCP Center or they go on the radio or they get in an article or just using a camera and going out for the first time with the camera. This is what they'll look back on. They may not remember something about Washington or Lincoln, but they'll remember this for the rest of their lives and maybe make a change.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, it's 5:30. It's time for the 5:30 news. We're going to take it to the WLIB newsroom with Tanya Brown sitting in for Mr. Wayne Gilman. We'll be right back with more. Yes, Dion Ashman back here for the Youth Line, 35 minutes past the hour of 5 in the p.m. I have my special guests here, Josephine Evans, Tiffany Wallace, Eddie Villanueva from PS41. They're all participants in the Panasonic Kid Witness News program. I have to ask you, being a part of this program, there are a number of certain skills that you learn. How has this program helped you with other aspects of your life in terms of education, like reading, writing, mathematics?
Well, communication skills, you mostly need communication skills in mostly everything that you do. So, usually after you get past, you learn more about communication. It also helps you do better in other subjects. So, all of that really does tie in. So, it all in the end helps you out, and you really are grateful for it.
Well, sometimes the reading helps you with your English in class because you have to have good English to be an interviewer, and you have to speak properly. And so when you're in class and you have to do a report and you have to present it to the class, you already have
everything in place?
Yeah, what you're reading.
Okay. Eddie?
I think writing, because it made me open up my mind more, being creative and writing things down about the like the VCP project and that, about what to do.
Oh, okay. Now, let me take it over here to the adults. If you all had to choose, let's say, one particular entity about this project that has helped them the most, what would it be?
I think in Panasonic's mind, what they really are doing is taking this program so these kids really learn the basic skills that you want kids to know when they're in school: how to read, how to write, how to speak, how to research things that they're going to need their whole life. And they, we hear from coordinators throughout the country that kids who were not doing well in school all of a sudden want to come to class because of Panasonic Kid Witness News, and they are learning these things even though they're not calling it English or writing or doing a book report, but they're learning how to research and write and speak. So that's the thing that is most important.
Now, this is what you all are doing now. How old is each one of you?
Well, me, Josephine, I'm 12.
And I'm 11.
And I'm 12.
When I think about the thing, what was I doing at 12 or 11? Wow. Probably throwing out my sister's Barbie dolls. I don't know. Playing with G.I. Joes or something. But anyway, literally baseball. Is this something that you all may want to do as a career later on down the line?
Well, this is something to fall back on if your career doesn't go so well.
Oh, wow. That's really something else. So you want to fall back on this?
I don't want. Well, if I have to, then I will.
Okay.
But I don't really want to.
Okay, how about you, Josephine?
Well, I agree with Tiffany, but it is really something to fall back on, but you can make a lot of money doing this too. You really could, and you never know, you might need this in your life. Well, you will need this in your life.
How about you, Eddie?
I agree with both of them.
Okay. I'm stumped here now. They just totally threw me off with that one. What are some of the other projects that you all are involved with?
Well, the UCP project was really a big project because
Hold on, before you even continue, the UCP, let's define that for the listening audience.
UCP stands for United Cerebral Palsy, and you know it's a handicap that people have. Many people have it. So it really changed my stereotype about handicapped people. I thought they couldn't really do anything, but they can really do a lot once you get to know them. Work really close with some of them. We got to act like we were in wheelchairs and stuff.
Okay. There's something that you want to add,
Yes.
Mr. Goldstein.
They are involved with mainstreaming these students together with regular students, UCP children, who many of them can grow up without any friends at all, and we decided to buddy them up with some of the students from our school. But we are also taping this and making a record of it, and hoping that the UCP hopes to show this to other schools to influence them to want to do this kind of thing with their students. So many of the tapes that they've done that we've done at our school are not sitting in a closet gathering dust. They're alive and people are watching them. We've done a tape about intergenerational dance between high school students and senior citizens at various nursing homes that the nursing homes show to their clients when people feel down and depressed, and it helps cheer them up. And also the high school shows it to incoming freshmen in the school because they feel it shows the school in the kind of light that they would like freshmen to see. Another tape that we've worked on is about pet therapy with the ASPCA, and they are the ASPCA now. Pet therapy is when people go in with their dogs and they go through a training program and then bring their dogs to elderly people or blind people or people who've been through fires, and they get to hold the dog and touch the dog and get some love and affection at a time in their lives when they really need somebody to pay attention to them. And other people have seen the tape. The ASPCA takes it around the United States when they make presentations. It's being shown in Israel by a man who works with elderly people to show to other elderly facilities in Israel where the programs are not as advanced as in this country, and they're trying to show what can be done with elderly people. And also Brooklyn College, there's a professor there that shows it to new teachers as to what can be done with video in a classroom using technology to solve social issues for the 21st century. And it's done by all the camera work done by the children, all the writing done by the children, everything is done by the children.
In terms of that intergenerational project, were these three involved with that?
No, I'm sorry, they weren't.
Okay.
But they were involved with another intergenerational project.
Okay. In dealing with the older folks, what kind of experience was that for you?
Well, go ahead, Tiffany.
It was fun, and it really made us think about, some people, they don't want to pay them any attention, and they have family members that doesn't visit them, and so for us coming up there makes them feel special and wanted, and I like making them feel special.
That's a shot now from my grandmother, because I know she's listening. Grandparents' Day was about 2 weeks ago on Sunday.
Another project we've done, it was another project called With This Song From Our Hearts, and that was where the Glee Club, our school Glee Club, got to go and sing gospel songs, any other kind of songs. And they started crying. This one elderly man, he just had a stroke. He was very emotional, and he was crying mostly through the whole thing. He was very thankful. Like, elderly people, once you get to know them, they're not really that bad. People may think they're a burden, but they really aren't.
I think that we should all adhere to that, simply because one day we're going to be elderly, and we're going to want somebody to pay us a little attention. It's interesting. The reason why this particular endeavor that you all took part in interests me is because I went on an intergenerational picnic not long ago, about 2 years ago, and volunteered my time, and it was a day strictly for the old folks, and it was great. it was great. Some of the stories that they can tell it's amazing. You know, if you can live to be 88, 90 years old, apparently you did something correct somewhere along the line. You know, besides eat right. You know, you did something correct. Now, are any of your friends, what did some of your peers say about your involvement with the program? Do they envy you, or do they say, nah, you shouldn't be involved with it? I mean, do you face any peer pressure because of your involvement with the program?
Never, because most of our friends think it's great. Our parents are really all for it because they feel it helps us in everything that we do, and everybody thinks it's a really great program mostly.
Who are some of the people that you've interviewed?
And
People you had to see your hand fly up.
At the Democratic Convention, I've interviewed Joe Kennedy, Sharon Pratt Kelly, Maynard Jackson, Richard Belzer, Julian Bond, Felipe Luciano, and Vernon Jordan.
Anybody else?
Tell them what the other.
Again.
And my friend Joanne Onifray, she interviewed Curtis Lewa, the Guardian Angel, Dan Rather, Bill Tatum, Jesse Jackson, Paul Songers, John McLaughlin, Roscoe Brown, Al Sharpton, and Charles Rangel, and Bill Myers.
Bill Myers. Bill Moyers.
Moyers. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I'm sure there's a Bill Myers somewhere in the country. But you know what? I just have one thing to say to you ladies. You go, girl. Have you seen your footage yet of your interview with these people?
Yeah.
First of all, how did it feel interviewing such a high-profile individual?
It was fun, and at first I was kind of nervous, but once you interview them, it's like interviewing regular people.
Okay. See, now, Mr. Goldstein doesn't know this. See, I produced a TV show called New York Vibes, that's seen in the tri-state area. When I heard I was going to be interviewing these children, it really just, elated me simply because it's great to have children involved with television production at such an early age. We're going to come back in a little while and talk more about the Panasonic Kids Witness News. And right now, we're going to send it over to Caroline Cadillo at Metro Traffic Control. We'll be right back with more right here on 1190. It's Black Talk and Caribbean Music. Yeah, Dion Ashman back here for this edition of the Youth Line. If you want to talk to our guests, please give us a call at 212-692-9542. Once again, that's 212-692-9542. And for those of you people in Connecticut, Jersey, who knows, maybe Philadelphia or Delaware, give us a call using our nationwide toll-free number, 1-800-332-1023. Once again, that toll-free number is 1-800-332-1023. My guests here are participants of the Panasonic Kids Witness News program, which is a hands-on video educational program. Is there anything that you all could recommend? That's right, you all as young people could recommend to any of the young people in our listening audience who want to get involved with TV?
Well, if you ever get a chance to be in Panasonic Kids Witness News, don't give it up, because if you really want a career in television, you really need this. It will really help you a lot as far as communications and everything is concerned.
Eddie? While Eddie ponders a thought, let's talk a little bit more about some of the other projects they've been involved with. Nationally, it doesn't have to be this particular set of children.
Well, one other tape that they did was a tape on the environment, which was a PSA, a simple PSA, about children in a classroom learning about all the dangers of the environment. And then two children go outside at 3 o'clock, open up a candy bar, throw the wrapper on the floor, and one says to the other, how come you're throwing things on the floor after we just had this big discussion? And the other one says, well, it's just one little piece of paper. It won't really pile up. And then we cut to a big garbage dump. And we have a
serious message.
Big message on the screen says it doesn't really pile up with a question mark.
And we've had schools, other schools throughout the country that have talked about racism, did editorials against the Ku Klux Klan. We've had kids who were studying ancient Rome do a whole piece as if they were in ancient Rome.
We had a birthday from Mars.
A birthday from Mars, okay.
With great special effects.
Great special effects. We had a school that won an award for their documentary Dragnet. They did a take on Dragnet about the environment.
Called Trashnet.
Trashnet. I hear that. Old McDonald Trashnet. I like.
A lot of the kids around the country are just using what they see every day in their community.
Okay. All right. A couple minutes to the hour of 6. We have some callers on the line. Caller, you are on the air. Thank you for calling the Youth Line.
Hello, yes. I'm very impressed by what I hear on this program. And I'd like to know, how could I get something like this going in my child's school?
Can't hear.
Okay. Can you please repeat the question?
Okay, hello. I'm very impressed by what I hear these students talking about. And I want to know how I could get something like this going in my child's school.
Okay, what I usually tell, this is Kiani speaking, people call me and I usually ask them to send me an interest letter on their district letterhead or their school letterhead, explaining exactly what school you're coming from with a little biography, some demographics from your school. Panasonic likes to reach specifically public schools. We target a lot of inner city schools. So what you can do is have your son or your daughter's school send me an interest letter, and what I do is I keep it on an active file. Now, throughout the year, we always have schools that are either being taken out of the program or are being dropped from the program, and I need to replace them. Geography plays a great deal when we're picking new schools. So they can send me a interest letter, and I guess I'll give the address at the end of the show.
You can give it right now.
Okay, you can send it to me, Kiani, Britton, Kiani. Last name is Britton, like the country, care of Jewell Jackson McCabe Associates, 50 Rockefeller Plaza, Concourse, Suite 46, 10020.
Okay, caller, thank you very much. Caller, you are on the air. Welcome to the Youth Line.
Yes, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I think I have a question, especially for Tiffany. It seems that she prefers to think of journalism or communication as a backup career. Why doesn't she look at it as a primary career? She seems to come across very well on the radio.
Thank you, Mom.
Yeah, thank you, Mom.
Well, answer the question. She's still a listener. Answer the question.
You're going to have to answer it now or later.
Well.
Well, you answer it now, so I wouldn't have to answer it later.
Okay,
Okay, we're gonna let Tiffany ponder the thought. And
I love you, Mom.
Good answer. We're gonna give out the number one more time: 212-692-9542. If you want to get your quick questions or statements or opinions in about this whole program. 1-800-332-1023. 1-800-332-1023. Please give us a call. We're going to go to Caroline Cadillo right now and Metro Traffic. We'll be right back with more right here on the Youth Line. This is 1190 AM Black Talk, and that's right, Caribbean music. Dion Ashman back here for the Youth Line. Thank you, Caroline, and we're going to close things out in a little while, but first we have a caller that we want to let through. Caller, you are on the air.
Hi, good evening. I'm calling. I want to find out if I can get the address again, because you gave it, but I couldn't catch it fast enough because I just walked in. And I also wanted to find out, can individual students, because I have a 11-year-old daughter that's attending an IS 180. It's a school for theater of the arts now. And I want to find out, in order to get involved in your program, do you have to come from a particular school? The school has to recommend the student, or can the individual get involved on their own?
The program has to be in your school for your child to participate in the program.
And the address that it should be sent to, I believe.
You want me to give it?
You want to give it again? Okay, I have it right. Go right ahead.
Send it to Kiani Britton, care of Jewell Jackson McCabe Associates, 50 Rockefeller Plaza, Concourse Suite 46, New York, New York, 10020.
And if you didn't get all of that, just call WLIB, ask for the programming department, and we'll give anybody the address. Right now, I want to thank you all for joining us this week on the Youth Line.
You're welcome.
My pleasure.
You're welcome.
All right, next up is the Caribbean Jam with Madman Matty, and that's right, one of the founding fathers of Afro-Caribbean music, Mr. Carl Anthony. I'm Dion Ashman. If you want to catch me on the New York Vibe TV show, please tune in this Saturday, WNJU Channel 47. That's after midnight, 1:30 in the a.m. to 2 a.m. We'll be covering the Peace Games. Please, until next week, you make sure you stay safe and strong, and you definitely hold tight. Peace.
Juvenile, hosted by Dion Ashman. What we're asking, Tiffany, Tiffany. Can. So, information. Youth line station, the youth line. It's 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 the youth line.